Welcome to DigiDig, where we uncover the past and explore the future.
To the ancient Egyptians, death was never a final destination. It was the beginning of an active, perilous journey through the underworld, a journey that required a physical anchor to survive. Their belief system divided the soul into several distinct parts. One was the Ba, depicted as a bird with a human head, which acted as a spiritual traveler. The Ba could fly out into the world during the day, but it was required to return to its physical vessel every night to maintain its existence. This created a culture-wide existential terror. If the physical flesh was allowed to decay or vanish, the Ba would have no home to return to, and the spiritual identity of the deceased would be permanently annihilated. This dread of total erasure drove the development of the most advanced chemical preservation industry in the ancient world, turning death into a technical challenge of biological suspension. The epicenter of this industry was Saqqara. This massive necropolis served as a sprawling laboratory for the elite, where the demand for immortality was met with industrial-scale expertise. Beneath these sands were the Wabet, subterranean workshops where priest embalmers operated in the cool dark. These facilities were designed to provide the stable, low-temperature environment necessary for the long, complex process of mummification. The success of these workshops is undeniable. Archaeologists have recovered millions of mummies that have successfully resisted biological decay for over 3,000 years. But here is the central mystery. While we possess the final products of their mastery, the practical, step-by-step chemical recipes they use to achieve this state have been missing from the historical record for millennia. It seems logical that we could simply turn to ancient texts for the answers. After all, the Egyptians were meticulous record keepers. For centuries, primary information came from outsiders, like the Greek historian Herodotus, but his superficial observations lacked the chemical insight required to replicate the results. When scholars translated the authentic Egyptian embalming papyri, they believed they found the instructional manuals. However, these documents were merely liturgical memory aids. They guided priests through religious prayers to appease the gods, not technical chemistry. Relying on these texts created a blind spot for historians. They analyzed the religious language of priests, while the embalmers' actual chemistry remained hidden. Mummification was a fiercely guarded and highly profitable trade secret, passed down orally within specific guilds. To protect their monopoly, the embalmers used vague, generalized terminology for their materials. Take the term antiu. For nearly a century, philologists translated this simply as myrrh, assuming it referred to a single raw plant resin. But the molecular reality is much more complex. These terms often referred to highly engineered amalgams, mixtures that required the precise heating and blending of various resins, tree oils, and animal fats to create a specific preservative coating. Archaeology struggled to decode the process because it treated a complex chemical formula as a simple vocabulary test. If written records failed us, the next obvious step was to reverse engineer the physical bodies themselves. But a mummy is not simply a body in a cloth wrap. Thousands of years of oxidation and chemical reaction have turned the skin and bandages into a dark, hardened material with the texture of stone. During the embalming process, specialists poured liquid resins that permeated every layer. As these substances solidified, they fused the flesh and the linen into a single, inseparable chemical matrix. This fusion was a deliberate tactical choice. By saturating the materials with these antimicrobial compounds, the embalmers created a barrier that successfully excluded the moisture and oxygen required for microbial decay to take place. The result is a composite material that is virtually impossible to separate. For decades, it was not possible to isolate the individual chemical ingredients of the balms without compromising the physical structure of the entire mummy. Traditional archaeological analysis relied on invasive methods, unwrapping, cutting, and dissolving samples in solvents to identify components. This created a professional crisis. To dissect the mummy in search of its chemical recipes was to permanently destroy the very preservation that the ancient Egyptians had spent centuries perfecting. For most of the 20th century, this created a stalemate. Researchers were forced to choose between total ignorance of the chemistry or the irreversible destruction of the artifact. Chemical evidence for their mastery remains preserved within the molecular structure of millions of fragile remains. The challenge was to find a way to analyze these substances without erasing the very bodies that hold them. For over 2 centuries, understanding ancient history meant translating texts, but physical artifacts contain hard data, and we now have the hardware to extract it. Ancient Egyptian texts describe embalming recipes using terms like antiu or safet. For decades, identifying the exact chemical compounds behind these labels required significant guesswork. Forensic molecular archaeology has superseded the traditional reliance on philological interpretation. The origin point for this analytical shift is a 2,500-year-old embalming workshop recently unearthed at Saqqara. Invisible molecular data trapped inside these unglazed ceramics provides the definitive proof of what the ancient embalmers actually used. By extracting this data, scientists reconstructed an ancient global supply chain stretching from the Dead Sea to Southeast Asia. This map was generated from residues and vapors using 2 specific technologies: gas chromatography-mass spectrometry and headspace solid-phase microextraction. Analyzing these traces requires shifting from the excavation trench to the laboratory. These ancient jars and linen bandages function as degraded data storage devices. Reading a 2,500-year-old storage device requires deconstructing its physical chemistry. The extraction process targets the solid organic residues absorbed into the unglazed inner walls of the Saqqara workshop vessels. Because these ancient plant oils and animal fats are hydrophobic, they survived for millennia locked inside the porous ceramic matrix. However, these surviving molecules are often too stable and non-polar to be directly vaporized and analyzed by standard laboratory equipment. Researchers overcome this through derivatization. Scientists chemically replace polar functional groups from the lipids with non-polar silyl groups. This substitution increases volatility, allowing the molecules to enter a gaseous state when exposed to the high temperatures of the analyzer. This modification is necessary to unlock the data stored within the ancient sample. To unlock the data stored within the ancient sample, the derivatized liquid is precisely injected into the machine and instantly vaporized. Inside the oven, an inert helium carrier gas pushes the vaporized sample through a microscopic capillary column that can reach 60 meters in length. The tube's interior stationary phase interacts with the passing vapor. As oven temperature ramps toward 320 degrees Celsius, molecules separate based on size and polarity, providing the retention time, the exact duration for a specific molecule to travel the column's full length. Because ancient Egyptian balms are complex mixtures, the hardware must untangle them molecule by molecule to identify the individual ingredients. The separated molecules enter the mass spectrometer's vacuum chamber, where each is bombarded with an electron beam at 70 electron volts. This impact shatters the molecule into a predictable pattern of fragment ions. The machine measures these fragments by mass-to-charge ratio, creating a chemical fingerprint. Scientists look for specific fingerprints, like hopanes and steranes at M/Z 191 and 217, serving as biomarkers for fossil bitumen. Finding these specific hopanes in the Saqqara vessels proves the Egyptians imported asphalt from the Dead Sea. Mass spectrometry provides hard structural proof of an ingredient's origin, removing the ambiguity of translated names. While solid residues can be solvent extracted, fragile mummy tissue requires a non-destructive approach. Researchers use a non-invasive technique called volatilomics, centered on headspace solid-phase microextraction. A sample in a sealed vial naturally off-gasses volatile compounds into the air above it. A polymer-coated fused silica fiber is lowered into this headspace. Through equilibrium partitioning, volatile molecules bind to the fiber coating, collecting trace data without physically damaging the artifact. The fiber is then transferred and heated, releasing the trapped gases directly into the analyzer, capturing high-resolution data from the air surrounding the mummies. Researchers then overlay the solid residue data from the Saqqara workshop against the gaseous profiles captured from mummy tissue. These overlapping datasets match specific sesquiterpenoids and triterpenic markers across both samples. This cross-verification confirmed the presence of damar and alemi resins in the Saqqara workshops. To reach Egypt, these specific botanical markers had to travel from tropical rainforests thousands of miles away. Multi-platform data synthesis translates a molecular signature into an undeniable geographic coordinate. The ultimate output of this analytical hardware is a high-resolution map of an ancient global supply chain. This map identifies specific trade hubs, bitumen from the Dead Sea, and conifer byproducts imported from the Levant. These nodes connect back to physical materials, like highly prized cedar trees, which were not native to Egypt. The high demand for specific mummification chemicals sustained an extensive network of long-distance trade. Molecules survive long after ancient papyrus has crumbled away, and modern hardware provides the tools to read them. Our ancient history is now chemically reverse engineered.
Thank you for watching.